All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever had this amazing idea, but then you struggle to make it look as good as it sounds in your head, then this is for you. We are going to unlock a workflow that goes way beyond just basic AI prompts. We're talking about building a system that turns your raw information, all that research, into absolutely stunning interactive visuals. So forget the generic templates. This is about creating something that's truly yours.
I mean, let's be real for a second. You felt this, right? You have this brilliant idea, you've done all the work, you turn to an AI for help, and what you get back is just flat. It feels disconnected, kind of generic, and honestly, a million miles away from that vision you had. So, is this powerful tool we hear so much about actually holding your creativity hostage?
There's this massive gap between the promise of AI, this limitless creativity, and the actual reality. We're sold this incredible dream, but what we usually end up with is a bunch of separate tools that just spit out the same old generic templates that, well, everyone else is using. You find yourself jumping between a dozen different apps, you lose your creative flow, and the final result still feels meh. And this right here, this just captures that frustration perfectly. This is a real quote from a user on Reddit, and it gets right to the heart of the problem. You can use a tool like Notebook LM to get these incredible source-grounded insights. No hallucinations, just pure gold from your own documents. But when it comes to making it look good, it just falls flat. And that is the exact problem that we are going to solve right now. So how do we fix this? Well, we do it by connecting the brain and the engine. We're going to build the ultimate AI power duo using two completely free Google tools. And when you combine them, they create something that neither one of them could ever do on its own. The whole idea here is that we're creating a system. We're taking an expert research brain and plugging it directly into a master creative engine. It sounds kind of cool, right? Let's break down what each part actually does. Okay, so part one is the brain. That's Notebook LM. Think of this as your own personal AI research assistant. You can feed it anything, articles, PDFs, your own notes, even transcripts from YouTube videos. And it doesn't just give you a simple summary. No, it analyzes everything, it finds these hidden connections between your sources, and it structures all that complex info. It gives you this rock-solid foundation of pure insight. And that brings us to part two, the engine. This is Gemini. This is the powerhouse that takes all that amazing structured knowledge you got from Notebook LM and just brings it to life. And we are not just talking about creating static images here. We're building interactive dashboards, animated charts, dynamic websites. This is the raw creative force. And you know what the best part is? The process itself is beautifully simple. Seriously. Step one, you do all your deep thinking in Notebook LM. You upload your sources, and you let it structure all the key insights for you. Step two, you take that structured output and you feed it directly into Gemini to visualize and build. That's it. Brain, then engine, insight, then impact. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's actually see this thing in action. I'm about to show you 3 examples that take some raw, maybe even kind of boring information and transform it into something dynamic and incredibly useful. So let's start with this. Imagine you've been researching the latest trends in the AI job market. You fed Notebook LM a bunch of reports from LinkedIn, the World Economic Forum, all the big names. It takes all that info and distills it into a super clear mind map, just like this one. It's accurate, it's useful, but it's static. It's just an image. You can't really do anything with it. But now, watch this. We take the structure from that mind map, give it to Gemini, and we ask it to build an interactive constellation map using HTML and JavaScript. And what we get back isn't an image. It's a fully interactive file you can literally open in your browser. Every little node is a skill. They're grouped into these color-coded clusters. You can hover over them, explore connections. It's a living document, not a dead picture. Okay, example number 2. Let's take something even drier, raw economic data. We ask Notebook LM to find and structure all the statistical GDP data for the world's top economies over the last 70 years. And as you'd expect, it gives us a clean but pretty boring table of numbers. So now we copy that table, we paste it into Gemini, and we give it a simple prompt. Using this data, create an animated bar chart race. And boom, look at the result. It's fun, it's dynamic, and it tells the story of decades of economic change in just a few seconds. This is how you make data engaging. You've gone from a spreadsheet to an actual story. All right, for our last example, let's get even more ambitious. Let's say you're a small business owner, and you're trying to figure out which AI tools you should be using.
We use Notebook LM to do all the heavy lifting, researching dozens of tools and then summarizing their cost, their value, and their maturity into a structured mind map.
And now for the real magic. We give that mind map to Gemini, and we tell it to build an interactive strategy board. What we get back is a functional web page. I mean, a real tool. You can filter by cost, by how new the tool is, or by the strategic action. This isn't just a visual. It's an application you can use to make actual business decisions, and it was built from your research in just a few minutes.
So we can create these incredible functional things. But how do we solve that original problem from the Reddit user, the whole generic design thing? How do you make sure the output looks like you or like your brand? Well, this is the pro-level hack that gives you infinite control over the visual style.
And it's a simple 3-step process. It's so easy. First, you find an image online, an infographic, a dashboard, whatever, that has a visual style you just absolutely love. Save it. Second, upload that image to Gemini and literally ask it, describe this image's visual style in detail for replication. It will give you this perfect breakdown of the colors, the fonts, the layout, the entire design language. Finally, you just copy that description and you paste it at the beginning of your prompt when you're generating your next visual.
And this is the result. This is the payoff. On the left, you have that default generic AI output. It's fine, I guess, but it's totally forgettable. On the right, you have the exact same information, but it's rendered in a unique style that you chose. This isn't just about making things look pretty. This is how you go from creating content to building an actual brand. You are in total creative control.
So the power is now officially in your hands. You've just learned how to connect the smartest research assistant on the planet to a limitless creative engine. You are no longer held back by those generic templates or all those disconnected tools. Let's just recap what this really means for you. This entire workflow, it's completely free to use. You can now turn your deepest research into stunning, useful visuals in just minutes. And with that style hack, you have infinite design control to make everything uniquely your own. The only barrier left now is your own imagination. So that leaves us with one final and really important question. You have the brain, you have the engine. What are you going to create